Maybe I made it all seem more beautiful than it really was. And maybe I was wrong the whole time. Basically, I don't have a home, but as many people, I like to imagine my future life. The problem is, expectation and reality never match, and this story was no exception. The events of this video take place at the moment when I'm finishing the most stressful and emotional trip of my life around China. Several weeks there exhausted me so much that I needed any familiar place just to recover and realize what to do next. And Thailand fits this criteria just perfectly. Recovery in Thailand for me means having a normal life of a normal person, living in a relatively cheap country, at least by Western standards. And how nice it is after confusing China to return to a place where you already know everything. How to buy tickets, how much food costs, good areas to live, and even some old acquaintances. I chose Chiang Mai as my base, cause it was the place where I ended my previous trip around Asia. And this time I gave myself a month to get myself together, plan what to do next, get back in shape, and start earning at least some money from freelance. And in theory, everything was just fine. But it wouldn't be my life if everything went according to plan and smoothly. Because as usual, I didn't take into account the most obvious things. Everything what you can see in the air is a smoke. That's not clouds. Everything is air pollution. I arrived in Chiang Mai at the end of March and I was so happy. My favorite food, my favorite park where I could exercise for free, but I stopped appreciating it just in a week. I checked into a private room in a hotel to have more focus and got back to freelancing, when suddenly I started receiving notification on my phone saying that the air quality was unhealthy and everyone should preferably stay at home. And only then I remembered that it's the peak of the dry season, when farmers around the country and from neighboring countries are burning crops and tall grass, and all that smoke gathers exactly in the area where I live. Just look at this. It's very bad level. And it's gonna be like this at least 1 week. One more week. I've been here for 1 week. Every March, every April, the weather is exactly like that. And the reason, as I understand, Chiang Mai is allocated like in the middle of the cup. It's surrounded by mountains, and farmers are burning down all the old grass and stuff like that. The neighbor countries like Myanmar and Cambodia, Laos, yeah, they burn down everything as well, and everything is gathering over there in Chiang Mai, like in this area, and this is terrible. Again, March, April, every year. Why did I come here exactly now? One of the main points for me gets cancelled immediately: cheap or free outdoor workouts. I tried exercising in the park a few times in these conditions and it was awful, so I dropped that right away. Regular gyms weren't what I was looking for, and Muay Thai classes are usually held in open air gyms as well, so I ruled that options out too. Since I was living in a hotel and not a hostel, and I only went outside for food or when I really needed a walk, I didn't have much communication with people and I felt a bit lonely trying to focus on work, which also wasn't going great. And right when my recovery started turning into another challenge against my own thoughts, simply because I felt like I was in a prison, not developing and not even enjoying my life, on one of my short walks I twisted my ankle. And I twisted in such a way that for a couple of days I thought I might have actually broken it. I fucked up my leg. Even if I just sit in the same city, living my regular life, I'm getting in some fucking troubles. I just twisted my leg yesterday while I was throwing away my shakes. I was just enjoying my life, and now I cannot get out of the hotel again. Exactly like a year ago.
Of course, I refused to go to a hospital because I don't have insurance and no extra money for treatment. So by old tradition, I treated my leg with prayers and waiting. But God bless, after a few days I could more or less walk, and after a week, right by the beginning of Thai New Year, I was barely limping anymore.
By the way, this is my leg now. I'll attach the photo how it looked like a few days ago. I thought it's fucking broken. Now I can walk. Yeah, I can walk. Still a bit hurt, but I can walk. That's the main point. All these fucking cars here. My god.
As many times as ChatGPT has let me down, that many times I've forgiven it and kept asking it more questions and advices. This time it promised me that after Sangran the smoke would disappear and I would return to the life I came for. And my leg was almost healed too. What a relief. But then a week passes after the festival and there are still no changes in the weather. And after a month of this kind of life, I use this hack. I buy a ticket to the south of Thailand, just 2 days before the flight, because at least the air there is much better and in general, the grass is always greener on the other side, right?
It's like an open window inside a new shade